President Trump. And officials may have more questions than answers. Authorities are searching for a motive as they work through evidence at the site of the rally in Pennsylvania and at the deceased gunman's home outside of Pittsburgh. And there are growing calls for an explanation and separate investigations of how the unthinkable happened at that campaign event Saturday. Did a security lapse enable the 20-year-old shooter to unleash that hail of gunfire that grazed Donald Trump, left another man dead and injured 2 others? Also, the political impact cannot be overstated here. Donald Trump is in Milwaukee for another high-profile, high-security event. The Republican National Convention set to kick off in just a few hours, and still no running mate announced. We have NBC's George Solis on site in Butler, Pennsylvania, and also with us, former FBI senior intelligence advisor and former deputy director at the CIA's Counterterrorist Center, Phil Mudd, and with me here in New York, MSNBC national security analyst and former FBI special agent Clint Watts. George, where do things stand there at the actual crime scene now?
Hey, good morning, Anna. It is still frozen in time. It has been an area that obviously is the epicenter, the epitome of this dark day in American history. We have still seen Pennsylvania State Police and other agencies around the perimeter. One thing of note, though, is the road that was leading in and out of where this rally was is now open again. So what does that indicate? What so obviously indicates the investigation is moving forward. But at this point, to our knowledge, authorities have not released the scene yet. So we expect we'll see more crews, more cars in that area, perhaps starting to dismantle some of that stage and some of that arena that was set up for the former president's rally. One of course, the most harrowing things that we have seen here throughout our distance here is the giant American flag where the former president was standing before this attempted assassination attempt. One of the things that I do want to mention that our colleague Tom Yamas pointed out about the area that's outside of where the perimeter was, outside of where the security was. Tom Yamas noted that he spoke to 2 women who said they were at this neighboring property where there was a fence that was held together by zip ties, essentially, and it seemed like a free-for-all where people could go in and out. And that is obviously an area that a lot of people in this community wonder about, or wondering more about, I should say, about this lapse in security here. Anna.
We're also hearing how Trump himself is processing all of this, and he says it's caused him to change his approach for the convention.
That's right. One of the key things that we can report is that the former president has thrown away his old speech that he was going to deliver in prime time. This is now going to be a speech more centered on unity, saying, quote, "I had prepared an extremely tough speech, really good, about the corrupt, horrible administration, but I threw it away." And it sort of signals perhaps a change in tone and tenor of what we might see going forward in this campaign. I do want to note that we did speak to a vendor that is now able to actually get their stuff now that the road is open. Supporters of the former president, they were there during this harrowing moment when these shots rang out. But take a listen to what their thoughts are on this possible change in the dynamic of this campaign.
I'm looking forward to his speech of unity. I'm looking forward, since I heard him say that he's totally rewritten his speech, I'm looking forward to that.
How about you?
Yeah, unity, a little less ugliness, maybe.
Yeah, Anna, and obviously not to underscore what the president said in the Oval Office in primetime. He said he's looking to lower the temperature. When we disagree, we're not enemies. We're neighbors, friends, and co-workers. So, again, hearing this and hearing just how these 2 candidates are now approaching things going forward obviously remains to be seen. But, again, a lot of voters are hoping that this obviously signals maybe less vitriol throughout this campaign, Anna.
George Solis reporting there in Butler, Pennsylvania. Thanks, George. Phil, the FBI is investigating this shooting as a potential act of domestic terrorism, we're told. What does that mean in terms of the way this all proceeds?
I would not read too much into that yet. You don't want to assume it's not domestic terrorism, go down the road of a standard investigation, then have to pick up the domestic terrorism piece later. So you want to start early on saying we have to assume that something like that might have happened, that is a terrorist incident, and use that investigative path. What you're looking at today, I would say, Anna, is the dust settling in that investigation. The first hours of the investigation, you're looking at chaotic information, lack of information, a vacuum. Over the course of the first 24 hours, you're going to get access to things like social media. There's been talk about the assailants, the attackers, data going down to Quantico. You're going to have interviewed friends and family. So by this time, when the FBI director walks into the office this morning for an update brief, they will, I suspect, already have some picture of motive. They might not be ready to talk about it, but the dust is slowly starting to settle in the investigation, even 36 hours in. A long ways to go, but they're getting there.
I mean, we keep showing different clips, Clint, of video that was taken by bystanders. We're hearing from eyewitnesses. The FBI says 2,000 tips have been pouring in. How do they prioritize?
Yeah, they're going to be focused on those areas where they don't have much information. And I tell you, Anna, this one, similar in a lot of ways, right? We hear reports of someone who's bullied in high school, maybe a loner, maybe play some video games, but very different from others. There's not a large social media footprint. We don't hear about a manifesto. There's not a lot of descriptions about this individual ever talking about politics or why he would pick the target. And even in his history, some confliction between, is it a registered Republican or someone who donated to a Democrat? Really, there's not much to go on. So I think motive is a big part, but the second one is reconnaissance. How did he know to climb up onto this building and go to that perch? Is this a place that he knew? Had he been there many times, or did he do some sort of scouting operation? In a terrorism investigation, you're always looking for, why was this target picked? How did the person know to access the target? How did they know to get to this vantage point? So I think those are the two areas that seems like there's still very large gaps.
I mean, this assailant wasn't even hidden when he was up on that building, Phil. And President Biden says he's ordering an independent review of this incident. What questions need to be asked about the actions taken by law enforcement before, during, and after this shooting?
I think I'd have 2 or 3 basic questions. The first is, were protocols followed? In other words, was that building not cleared properly because someone followed a protocol and the protocol simply didn't have that scenario written in? That seems highly unlikely to me. So you go to question 2. If clearing that building differently was in protocols, why wasn't it done? And that is going to be a really difficult question to answer. The third and final one I've had, Anna, is, as someone who dealt with the aftermath of 9/11, is pendulum. People are going to ask for perfect security for presidents who go out into chaotic environments and want to meet citizens, including in cities like Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, where there's buildings all around. Be careful in the after action about asking for perfection, because then you're going to have candidates who can't get out in public. This will be interesting to watch.
Clint, let's look ahead to the RNC, because the Secret Service has a big task in their hands here, as well as providing security for a giant event in Milwaukee, which starts in just a few hours. The Secret Service is saying up front they're not planning to make any changes to their security plans and protocols that they've established in the months leading up to this. Does that surprise you?
It doesn't, for one big reason. There's hyper-planned events and they're ad hoc events. And I would tell you that that Trump rally is very different from the RNC. RNC probably planned, I would say, 18 months to even 2 years out. They started the planning for that. It's an indoor facility. It is designed for security. It's a location that has been secured in the past. And so they have been putting that perimeter in place for quite some time, and I think they'll be prepared. On the other hand, these rallies, just like Phil was talking about, going out into public, into open spaces, trying to do this, very difficult challenge, and you're doing it every single day in different jurisdictions, in different states, with different people. It's a really tough patchwork to put together. This is a fixed event. I think they'll be ready.
Phil, do you think everything should proceed as planned in Milwaukee?
Yeah, I agree with Clint. Talking about a chaotic, open environment where the president is mixing with people versus a scripted event that's been planned for 18 to 24 months, totally different. Also, if you're going through months and months, years plus of training, you don't want to change that at the last minute, because then you open up flaws that you didn't foresee when you did the original planning. Keep going. I'm sure they'll have it secured.
Phil Mudd and Clint Watts, thank you both very, very much. And when we're back in just 90 seconds, we'll have a live report from the White House as President Biden makes this plea to a rattled nation.
Disagreement is inevitable in American democracy. It's part of human nature. But politics must never be a literal battlefield, or God forbid, a killing field.
Why do couples choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
I need help with their snoring.
Sleep Number does that.
Thank you.
And now, save 25% on the most popular Sleep Number smart bed. Shop now at sleepnumber.com.
What I'm about to share is something we don't talk about often enough, so I'm just gonna say it. We apply deodorant to our armpits every day. It's a part of the routine, right? So why do we put up with odors on other parts of our body between showers? It's time you discovered Lumi Whole Body Deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. I tried it and I noticed a difference right away, everywhere. You won't realize the body odor you've just been living with until you try Lumi and it's gone. Give Lumi Whole Body Deodorant a try and start controlling your body odor better, everywhere.
To improve your digital security, just turn on NordVPN. Guard yourself from data snoopers, encrypt your online traffic, and block malicious sites. Get the deal now.
Hi, I'm Sally. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a flight nurse on a helicopter that specializes in trauma. I've been doing flight nursing for 24 years. I had a fear that I wouldn't be able to keep up. I wanted all the boost I could get. I heard about Prevagen from a friend. I read the clinical study on it, and it had good reviews. I've been taking Prevagen now for 5 years, and it's really helped me stay sharp and present. It's really worked for me.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
We're back with special coverage of the attempted assassination of former President Trump. This morning, Donald Trump is in Wisconsin ahead of the Republican National Convention. President Biden is back at the White House, and all eyes are still on that farm in Butler, Pennsylvania, where 2 days ago, a string of gunshots changed the course of U.S. history. Here was part of President Biden's message to the American people last night.
Tonight, I want to speak to what we do know. A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We cannot, we must not go down this road in America. We've traveled it before throughout our history. Violence has never been the answer, whether it's with members of Congress of both parties being targeted and shot, or a violent mob attacking the Capitol on January 6th, or a brutal attack on the spouse of former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, or information and intimidation on election officials, or the kidnapping plot against the sitting governor, or an attempted assassination on Donald Trump. There is no place in America for this kind of violence, or for any violence ever. Period. No exceptions. We can't allow this violence to be normalized. The Republican convention will start tomorrow. I have no doubt they'll criticize my record and offer their own vision for this country. I'll be traveling this week making the case for our record and the vision, my vision of the country, our vision. I'll continue to speak out strongly for our democracy, stand up for our Constitution and the rule of law, to call for action at the ballot box, no violence on our streets. That's how democracy should work. We debate and disagree. We compare and contrast the character of the candidates, the records, the issues, the agenda, the vision for America. But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box, not with bullets. The power to change America should always rest in the hands of the people, not in the hands of a would-be assassin. You know, the path forward through competing visions of the campaign should always be resolved peacefully, not through acts of violence. You know, we're blessed to live in the greatest country on earth, and I believe that with every soul, every power of my being. So tonight, I'm asking every American to recommit, to make America, think about it. What's made America so special? Here in America, everyone must be treated with dignity and respect, and hate must have no safe harbor. Here in America, we need to get out of our silos, where we only listen to those with whom we agree, where misinformation is rampant, where foreign actors fan the flames of our division to shape the outcomes consistent with their interests, not ours.
Let's go to the White House and NBC's Monica Alba, who's covering the latest action by the president. Monica, we've heard President Biden now speak out at least a couple of times since this attack. He's also issued a paper statement. What do we know about how he is taking action right now as it relates to the shooting investigation?
And Anna, that was a swift response that was intentional. When the president was initially briefed on this assassination attempt on Donald Trump, he said he wanted to get out in front of cameras and address the nation. Then he spoke again yesterday where he laid out some new action that he is really trying to manage in terms of the government response here. And specifically, that includes really key points of directing his own Secret Service to review all security measures for the Republican National Convention, which does kick off today in Milwaukee. And he also ordered an independent review, making sure that they do take a look and find out, quote, exactly what happened and what led to the security failure that allowed for this shooting to take place at a rally of a former president. And he is also emphasizing that for now, he wants to ensure that any security resource that Donald Trump and his team are asking for will be accommodated. He said that that was a major priority, and he wanted to make sure of that. And we should also note, Anna, in the course of all of this, that he did very quickly try to reach out and speak with former President Trump on Saturday night. It took them a little bit to connect, but eventually they did have what I'm told was a short, respectful, but good phone call around 9:55 p.m. on Saturday night, where the two were able to speak briefly. And then, as you saw last night and what you just played in that Oval Office address, moving on a little bit from the investigation portion, which is a key part of this story, the president is now trying to plead with Americans to really take stock of this moment, of this history, but to come together and unite and really denounce any kind of political violence like what we saw over the weekend, Anna.
And as this 2024 race continues to heat up, we talk about the RNC getting underway today. What about the president's plans as it relates to campaigning in the days ahead? Any changes on that front?
And right after the shooting took place, the Biden campaign did pause all of their television ads, and they also suspended any outgoing communication. So when you think about fundraising emails or any kind of campaign statements that would be considered political or critical, all of that was on hold. But we understand that tonight, after President Biden's interview with our own Lester Holt, once the Republican National Convention does get more underway, the Biden campaign and the DNC are going to resume some of that political activity. So we're going to start to see that. And you are going to see the president traveling to Las Vegas, Nevada tonight. He's going to be heading there. And then tomorrow he's going to be speaking at an NAACP conference in Las Vegas. Wednesday, he will speak at a Unidos US conference, also in Las Vegas, Nevada. And over the course of that, he is going to be engaging in some campaign activity, and he's going to be doing additional interviews. So you are going to be seeing a little bit more of that traditional counter programming to when one party is holding their convention. You see the other party and candidate doing some of their own messaging. As he said, he wants to be able to lay out his own vision, and he knows that Republicans are going to be criticizing his record, and certainly Democrats are going to aim to draw a contrast as well, as you heard from the president. But the events of this weekend do take on new meaning, new significance to the tone of the entirety of that. Anna.
Monica Alba, thank you for that reporting. Up next, I'll talk with a reporter who was at the rally when former President Trump was attacked, what he saw.
At the UPS store, we offer a lot because running a small business takes a lot. That's why we're the Think Outside the Box store, the Help Protect Your Privacy store, and the Give Your Business a Real Street Address store. So while you're juggling everything else like the boss you are, we're the Extra Pair of Hands store. You can count on us as the shredding and mailboxing, anything and everything to keep you going store. Come into the UPS store today and be unstoppable.
The future is not just going to happen. You have to make it. And if you want a successful business, all it takes is an idea. And now becomes a future where you grew a dream into a reality. The all-new GoDaddy Aero. Put your business online in minutes with the power of AI.
I never want to shop for car insurance again. And with the Experian Insurance Marketplace, I don't have to. They shop for me with over 40 top providers, and they alert me about better rates in the future. Free. I saved $800.
Go to Experian.com/car.
Sure, I'm a paid actor, and this isn't a real company. But there's no way to fake how Upwork can help your business. Search talent all over the world with over 10,000 skills you may not have in-house. More than 30% of the Fortune 500 use Upwork, because this is how we work now.
I managed to get the last room for $190.
I booked the last room a week ago.
I booked yesterday. Some sites panic you into booking their last room. Instead, Trivago compares hotel prices from hundreds of sites, so you can save up to $50 a night. Hotel Trivago.
These bills are crazy.
She has no idea she's sitting on a gold mine.
Well, she doesn't know that if she owns a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more, she can sell all or part of it to Coventry for cash, even a term policy.
Even a term policy?
Even a term policy!
Find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. Call Coventry Direct today at 800-738-1300 or visit coventrydirect.com.
Kate made progress with her mental health, but her medication caused unintentional movements in her face, hands, and feet called tardive dyskinesia, or TD. So her doctor prescribed Austedo XR, a once-daily extended-release TD treatment for adults. Austedo XR significantly reduced Kate's TD movements. Some people saw a response as early as 2 weeks. With Austedo XR, Kate can stay on her mental health meds.
Oh, hi, buddy. Austedo XR can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Pay close attention to and call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden changes in mood, or have suicidal thoughts. Don't take if you have liver problems, are taking reserpine, tetrabenazine, or valbenazine. Austedo XR may cause irregular or fast heartbeat or abnormal movements. Seek help for fever, stiff muscles, problems thinking, or sweating. Common side effects include inflammation of the nose and throat, insomnia, and sleepiness.
Ask your doctor for Austedo XR.
Precise designs, subtle curves, curated upgrades, elevated design for thoughtful living. Thuma.
If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. Each pair comes standard with lenses that are scratch-resistant, anti-reflective, and UV protective. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
We're coming together for our yearly service project and running a t-shirt fundraiser through Custom Ink to help the cause. Plus, their design services team helped us get a design we love. Come together for a cause. Get started today at customink.com.
I have a structured settlement and I call J.G. Wentworth 877 cash now.
I have an annuity, but I need cash now.
Call J.G. Wentworth 877 cash now.
It's your money. Use it when you need it.
Call J.G. Wentworth 877 cash now.
Pops, screams, and then blood. That is the headline from the Washington Post describing the chaos that ensued on Saturday when shots were fired at the former president, leaving rally-goers shocked but calm on the ground in Pennsylvania. And joining us now is Washington Post national political reporter Isaac Arnsdorf, who wrote that piece. He was at the rally when those shots were pointed at the former president and is now there in Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention, which gets underway today. Isaac, thanks so much for taking the time with us. 2 days later, as you've been processing what happened, what sticks in your mind?
Really how lucky everyone was. I mean, both that the bullet narrowly missed the former president, but also that the crowd, other than the tragically the additional people who were hit, that there wasn't a lot more loss of life, that it didn't turn into a stampede or a totally chaotic situation, that people really did do what they could to take cover, remain calm, and then leave in a very orderly way.
You have this reporting about a coordinated effort of the Secret Service and the local authorities to try to handle the crowd. What did that look like?
Well, I mean, there really wasn't anywhere to go when it was happening. The crowd was so big and so tightly packed. I mean, you can see in the footage how especially the people in the bleachers are just kind of trapped. And it was after former President Trump was was removed and brought into the car and taken away, that pretty quickly the police started roping off the area, calling it an active crime scene, and asking people to evacuate.
I know as a reporter, we are trained to sort of detach ourselves from the events that we are covering, because we often have to cover things that are so tragic. But being there when this happened, I can't imagine how traumatic it was for you personally. How are you hanging in there?
I'm doing okay, thanks. I think it's helpful to, be talking about it and writing about it and continue to report on it. And there are still a lot of questions about how that happened.
Yeah, the image of the former president raising his fist and saying the words fight, fight, fight. President Trump is saying in a new interview after this attack that he did that so the people there at that rally would know he was okay, and that he meant to send a message that, quote, America goes on, we go forward, that we are strong. How do you think that action and his words, fight, 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 are received by his supporters?
Well, you could see the sense of relief whenever, because there was a long period where we couldn't see him underneath the pile of Secret Service agents and behind the lectern, and so it was relief to see that he was alive. And depending on where you were, you could see that there was blood on his face, but not necessarily where that came from or the severity of that. But there was real anger in that moment also. A lot of that anger ended up getting directed at the reporters. I think we were the ones there when people turned around. But again, I'm grateful that things didn't take a worse turn that resulted in more loss of life that day.
Yes, it could have been worse. You were absolutely right. And yet it's still so tragic to know one person died, a couple others were critically injured. Obviously, a former president. Now we're, as a nation, are grappling with an assassination attempt. Isaac, you're in Milwaukee now, looking ahead. What's the temperature among the Trump campaign about how things will go tonight and moving forward this week, given what just happened?
Well, Trump gave a couple interviews saying that he tore up his speech and started over with a new message. I mean, we are definitely seeing a softer tone from him and from the campaign. There might be some adjustments to the program, despite the message has kind of been proceeding as normal, but you can just tell from being here, this is not the same event that we thought we were going to be attending. And, but we have to see how that holds up and what direction that takes, and, what unity means, unity on what terms. I mean, even in the interview where Trump was saying that, he acknowledged some of the most divisive positions that his campaign has been centered on.
Isaac Arnsdorf, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate it. Meantime, across Pennsylvania, flags are flying at half-staff today as a community mourns the loss of Corey Comparator, the Pennsylvania firefighter killed shielding his family when they found themselves in the path of bullets at Trump's rally. Here's how Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro described Comparator at a press conference yesterday.
We lost a fellow Pennsylvanian last night, Corey Comparator. I just spoke to Corey's wife and Corey's two daughters. Corey was a girl dad. Corey was a firefighter. Corey went to church every Sunday. Corey loved his community. And most especially, Corey loved his family. Corey was an avid supporter of the former president and was so excited to be there last night with him in the community. I asked Corey's wife if it would be okay for me to share that we spoke. She said yes. She also asked that I share with all of you that Corey died a hero, that Corey dove on his family to protect them last night at this rally. Corey was the very best of us. May his memory be a blessing.
As of this morning, a GoFundMe page dedicated to those victims and their families and authorized by the Trump campaign has raised more than $3.6 million with nearly 50,000 donations. Next, how this assassination attempt is raising concerns about national security threats for our country and elected officials, and how to prevent something like this from happening again.
When you buy or sell your car exactly how you want with Car Gurus, you might begin to wonder, what if you could do things your way all the time?
Dream, 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 dream. Dream, dream, dream when I want you in my arms.
Some dreams do come true. Get your car your way. Get it with Gurus.
With generative AI on AWS, companies are already transforming how they work to generate new ideas and turn experiments into reality. AWS is the easiest way to get up and running, so you can quickly build and scale generative AI with security built in. With generative AI on AWS, businesses can push the boundaries of innovation.
What does a robot know about love? It takes a human to translate that leap in our hearts into something we can see and hold. Etsy.
I'm out here telling people about the new Experian Insurance Marketplace. Do you enjoy shopping for car insurance?
It's awful.
Experian can help. Experian does the shopping to find you a great policy. It's really good news. And they'll alert you if they find a better rate later on.
Sign me up.
Go to Experian.com/car.
Why won't Scout play with us anymore?
He has something called osteoarthritis pain. It's joint pain that hurts him all the time.
Come on, Scout.
Now, there's Librela, the first and only once-monthly injection to control your dog's OA pain. Veterinary professionals administering Librela who are pregnant, trying to conceive, or breastfeeding should take extreme care to avoid self-injection, which can cause allergic reactions like anaphylaxis.
This is the best day of my life!
Librela.
Over 1 million people have put Super Beats by Human blood pressure support supplements to the test. And the numbers tell the story. We have over 80,000 five-star ratings and reviews. We're trusted by over 120 pro and college sports teams. Super Beats is the #1 selling beet brand, the only #1 doctor, pharmacist, and cardiologist recommended beet brand for heart health support. See why we've won the hearts of people across America and get a free month supply on all bundles at superbeats.com.
Toe fungus is tough to kill, and it can spread.
It's time to start using Fungi-Nail. Maximum strength Fungi-Nail is so powerful it cures and prevents fungal infections. Plus, it has aloe and tea tree oil to restore skin health. Say goodbye to toe fungus with Fungi-Nail.
Kids love summer break, but parents, well, Care.com makes it easy to find background-checked childcare that fits your summer schedule, from long-term to short notice. Give yourself a break this summer. Go to Care.com now.
After Homoglow cleaned our place for $19, we fired our old housekeeper. Homoglow tackled everything, from our kitchen to our bathroom, all our laundry. You just pick a date, pick a cleaner, and enjoy a spotless house for $19.
Dangerous ladders, gutter muck? Ugh, no wonder you hate cleaning your gutters. Good thing there's Leaf Filter. Our patented filter technology keeps leaves and debris out of your gutters forever. Guaranteed. Call 833-LEAF Filter to get started and get the permanent gutter solution that ends clogs for good.
They took the time to answer all of our questions. They really put us at ease.
End clogged gutters for good. Call 833-LEAF Filter or visit leaffilter.com today.
This is my coffee shop. We just moved into a bigger space, brought on another employee, and ordered new branded gear for the team. It was so easy. I just chose my products, added our logo, and placed my order. Bring your own team together with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
The bedroom suite, with deliberate details and modern functionality. For the indoor enthusiast. Check in at thuma.co.
All eyes are in Milwaukee as the Republican National Convention begins today, just days after Donald Trump, the candidate set to accept the nomination for president, narrowly survived an assassination attempt against him. And while the Secret Service has expressed confidence in their security plans for Milwaukee, both party campaigns are reportedly rethinking event schedules as we get closer to the November election. Joining us now, retired ATF Special Agent in Charge Jim Kavanaugh and retired JAG Captain Robert Sanders. Thank you both for being here. Jim, it's nice to see you. The Secret Service says they have no plans to change security measures for the Republican convention, but obviously this is a top of mind for really everyone on the ground there, I imagine. So do you buy that they're not making any changes?
Yeah, I know it's counterintuitive, Anna, in light of the Trump assassination attempt, but really it is a smart move and the right decision to not change. The reason is the difference between a national special security event, which I've been involved in some of those, and, the Trump rally on a field in Butler County, Pennsylvania, it's a difference between D-Day planning and sending a small patrol out, into the territory to set up a command post. It's a completely different animal. This is, $75 million government expense. There'll be 5,000 plus law enforcement officers present. They've been planning it for 2 years. It's an indoor arena. I mean, they have all the security, and they're going to have that as secure as any facility could be to have this convention. Now, the only way to make it more secure is not have it. So, I mean, this is the only way you can do it. So they're right to say that, but I think what you said just a minute ago, that it's top of mind, absolutely. Every single law enforcement officer, it's right on the tip of their mind what happened in Pennsylvania. They're all alert to that.
Yeah.
So that does up everybody's,
on state police. They don't have enough assets to spread themselves across the nation and cover all of the individuals that they have as protectees. So when they bring in these outside entities and read them into the plan, there's an expectation that the outside entities can execute the part of the plan that is delegated to them. Now, there's been some unconfirmed reports that a police officer actually saw, after he was notified, the individual on the roof. And when he made an access to that individual on the roof, the individual pointed a weapon at him. Now, if that happened and how far that happened in front of the actual shooting is unclear. But if that in fact happened, we're thinking now about Uvalde, Texas, where what do you do when you are confronted with an individual like that? What are the protocols that the locals need to know and have at their beck and call, and how should they react? Definitely, we had a problem here. Unfortunately, one of the things in these type of situations is the after action report. We learn more from our mistakes than we do from our successes.
So how would you correct those mistakes at future campaign stops? Not just obviously the RNC, this big event that has had months of planning, but additional rallies that could come following the RNC. Could there be an issue of manpower?
Certainly. So when the Secret Service makes up their plan for these activities, they send it back to Washington, D.C. They ask for certain assets. And in the process of doing that, they rely on certain local assets. Maybe there needs to be an additional layer of not just Secret Service, but other federal law enforcement individuals integrated into the Secret Service plan that will bolster them at the federal level and maybe take some of the weight off of some of the locals. That's more money, that's more expense, and that's a drain from another mission when those people cross over to support Secret Service. But we don't want Kennedy. We don't want an assassination of an American political leader at any time, no matter under any circumstances.
Speaking of Kennedy, Jim, third-party candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been asking the Biden administration for Secret Service protection for months now. Do you think this attack will spur them to allow that security detail?
I think the president can order that, and I really think that he should. He really should order that. The country doesn't need to have, another Kennedy shot, and the country doesn't need anybody who's running, even though he doesn't, come out high in the polls to be hurt or attacked. And so it's only a few months. President Biden has the ability to do it. The Secret Service can do it. Sure, they're stretched. They're all stretched in campaign years, but they're not as stretched as other campaign years when I've been working with them. I mean, sometimes we've had candidates out on each party, 6, 8 people running for president at the same time, and we'd have agents flying all over the country on Secret Service details, and the Secret Service really stretched thin. This is not the case. I mean, we only have 2 candidates. And they're always on the president, and they're always on former President Trump anyway. So they're not stretched thin like they used to be in many campaign years. So they could cover Robert Kennedy. I think President Biden should order that done. I think what we're facing here at the RNC, what worries me most would be an attack on the periphery, maybe a sophisticated attack like by a drone. That would be bad, or even a gunfire or even a vehicle attack on the periphery. I think it's going to be more difficult to get into the Fiserv Center. It's pretty tight. It could happen, but it's really tight in there. Delegates and luminaries are staying in hotels around the city. All that is not totally secure like the venue. So that would be what would worry me the most, and I'm sure they've made plans for all those things, and there's a police presence, but guns are allowed to be carried all over the street in Wisconsin, and so people can come in there armed. And this is a magnet. Every convention, RNC, DNC, is a magnet for anarchists, insurrectionists, accelerationists, haters, terrorists, the disillusioned, the disaffected. It's a magnet for them. And they come, and they probe, and they look. And so all that will be happening. But we can only hope that our security is tight. We've done the right thing, and we're gonna not let them, steal our democracy.
No one can let their guard down. Jim Kavanaugh and Robert Sanders, thank you both very much. Up next, what voters are saying about how this attack has changed the political landscape ahead of November. Plus, splashed across the front pages, the full historical impact of this assassination attempt is yet to be felt. We'll look back at past incidents of violence against our presidents and candidates and how they changed our country.
Reminder, bent finger appointment.
I don't want to wait or have surgery for my Dupuytren's contraction. I want a non-surgical treatment.
And if non-surgical treatment isn't offered?
I'll get a second opinion.
Take charge of your treatment. If you can't lay your hand flat, visit findahandspecialist.com to get started.
These bills are crazy.
She has no idea she's sitting on a gold mine.
Well, she doesn't know that if she owns a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more, she can sell all or part of it to Coventry for cash, even a term policy.
Even a term policy?
Even a term policy!
Find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. Call Coventry Direct today at 800-738-1300 or visit coventrydirect.com.
With wet AMD, I worry I'm not only losing my sight, but my time to enjoy it. But now, I can open up my world with Vabysmo. Vabysmo is the first FDA-approved treatment for people with wet AMD that improves vision and delivers a chance for up to 4 months between treatments, so I can do more of what I love. Vabysmo works differently. It's the only treatment designed to block 2 causes of wet AMD.
Vabysmo is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection, active eye swelling, or are allergic to it. Treatments like Vabysmo can cause an eye infection or retinal detachment. Vabysmo may cause a temporary increase in eye pressure after receiving the injection. There is an uncommon risk of heart attack or stroke associated with blood clots. Severe swelling of blood vessels in the eye can occur. Most common eye side effects were cataract and broken blood vessels.
Open up your world with Vabysmo.
A chance for up to 4 months between treatments with Vabysmo. Ask your doctor.
Itchy pad? With Chewy, save 20% on your first pharmacy order. So you can put an end to the itch. Get flea and tick medication delivered right to your door.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 thumbs up. And now, buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, 2 months free. All with the same fast, reliable, nationwide coverage as Big Wireless. Make the switch today. Call, go online, or visit a store near you. That's 2 times the savings and our best deal of the year.
Hi, I'm Janice, and I lost 172 pounds on Golo. When I was a teenager, I had some severe trauma in my life, and I turned to food for comfort. A friend told me that I was the only one holding me back from being as beautiful on the outside as I am the inside. Once I saw Golo was working, I felt this rush. I just had to keep going. A lot of people think no pain, no gain. But with Golo, it is so easy. When I look in the mirror, I don't even recognize myself. Golo really works.
Our right to reproductive health care is being stolen from us.
I can't believe this is the world we live in, where we're losing the freedom to control our own bodies.
We need your support now more than ever. Go online, call, or scan this code with your $19 monthly gift, and we'll send you this Care No Matter What t-shirt.
It is your right to have safe health care. That's it.
Go online, call, or scan right now.
Car insurance is up 20% this year. So I went to the Experian Insurance Marketplace. They shopped my info with over 40 top providers. I saved $800. They'll even alert me if they find a better rate. And it's free.
Go to Experian.com/car.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance, and I saved hundreds. With all the money I saved, I thought I'd buy stilts. Being so tall definitely has its advantages.
Oh, whoa.
Here you go, kiddo.
Thanks. Hi, honey. Ready to go?
Yep. There it is. There it is. There we go. I guess it also has some disadvantages.
Yes, it does.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Kids love summer break, but parents, well, Care.com makes it easy to find background-checked childcare that fits your summer schedule, from long-term to short notice. Give yourself a break this summer. Go to Care.com now.
Saturday's assassination attempt plunged an already fraught political environment into even more uncertain territory. Here's how some voters reacted when asked by NBC News if this shooting would change their vote in November.
It's something that's bad, but then whether I would vote for him or not, I look at the individual. He's been convicted of the felons, so that, to me, overweighs what happened to him.
I respect him even more. Some people might have said, you know, that's it, that's enough. I'm out of it, but, you know, not Mr. Trump. He puts America before himself.
Back with us now, NBC News senior politics reporter Jonathan Allen. Jonathan, in a new piece, you write that Saturday's shooting, quote, jolted.
Donald Trump now talking about making his speech about unity rather than, you know, what we've heard from him for most of the last 7 or 8 years, which is, you know, very divisive rhetoric, a candidate who believes in, you know, in sort of building his brand through division, through you know, through contrast with his opponents, and we'll have to see what he actually does at the convention. But you know, I think it's changed in that way. But in addition to that, look, you know, when I talk to Democrats, they are very concerned. Not all of them, but many of them are very concerned that it will be difficult at this point for President Biden to beat Donald Trump. They look at the images that you're showing right now, you know, with his fist pumped in the air in defiance, as, you know, some of the most iconic of any political leader ever. And they're saying to themselves that this is putting President Biden sort of farther into a corner in terms of already trailing a little bit. And a lot of Democrats believe that he has been trailing. I know that Trump believes that he's been leading.
John, what is the latest regarding Trump's VP pick, and how has Saturday's assassination attempt impacted this highly secretive announcement?
It's interesting, Anna. You know, Trump has always said that he was going to make his announcement at the convention. A lot of people didn't believe him. There's been a lot of reporting in between when he first said that and now that, you know, he was on the verge of making a decision. And that may have been the case at some point. But, you know, if you just go back a couple weeks to the debate that he had with President Biden and the sort of fallout of that for President Biden, you know, I think the conventional political wisdom was that he should not step on what had been a bunch of bad news cycles for President Biden. And so here we are on the convention opening today, and it could be that we end up getting an announcement today. There's a roll call of states today for the nomination, so you would think that it would at least it would come by today. But Trump surprises us all the time. There are three sort of leading candidates: J.D. Vance, Doug Burgum, and Marco Rubio. And again, I would just caution that sometimes former President Trump surprises us all. So I got no predictions on the exact timing or even who it is.
You can always expect the unexpected when it comes to Donald Trump. Jonathan Allen, thanks for staying up all night for us. I hope you can rest up a bit before all the action gets going at the RNC. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.
Unfortunately, there is a long list of assassination attempts in American history, and each has left an indelible mark on our politics and normal Americans' lives. Joining us to put this all in context, NBC presidential historian Michael Beschloss. Michael, so nice to see you this morning. Sadly, this is not the first assassination attempt in American politics. In fact, it's the seventh when it comes to a current president or a candidate for president. What moments are you thinking about when it comes to what we've experienced in this country?
Well, I wish I could say that what happened on Saturday was just an odd aberration in American history. And sadly, just as you've shown on that screen, Anna, this is something that goes throughout our American past. I was thinking a little bit about Theodore Roosevelt in 1912, running a third party, bull moose progressive, was giving a speech in, of all places, Milwaukee. And he was at the podium and someone shot him. And that bullet was deflected by the case he had for his eyeglasses. And so TR, who was not badly hurt, with full drama said, "I feel so strongly about what I have to say, I will keep on speaking." Not everything has been that heroic, of course.
So how does the country bounce back? Because both former President Donald Trump and President Biden say they want to focus on unity at this moment, denouncing political violence. How does the nation recover after these previous incidents of violence?
Well, Anna, the best in American history is when we go through a horrible event like this and we make our system and we make ourselves better. And I think what we heard from President Biden, for instance, just last night, gave us a good idea of the direction that this might move in, which is that, yes, have a fierce debate, have a fierce campaign. That's the way we get the best president. But at the same time, fewer personal insults, more based on facts, no exaggerations, and absolutely never any violence.
Two of the most infamous assassinations were those of JFK and RFK during a very turbulent 1960s. Yes. How does that moment
Shopify is when I'm with my family, when I'm taking time off, knowing that I have a site up and running and our business is moving forward because we have a platform that we can rely on. That is gold to us. Start your free trial with Shopify today.
Okay, kids, time for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag and to the President of the United States of America, to the biblical values for which our country stands, and to the natural order of man and woman under God, loyal to the President at all times, with liberty and justice for all.
Some days you can feel like a spectator in your own life with chronic migraine. 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more. Botox prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they start. And treatment is 4 times a year. In a survey, 91% of users wish they'd started sooner. So why wait? Talk to your doctor.
Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Chronic migraine may still keep you from being there. Why wait? Talk to your doctor about Botox and get in the picture. Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
Super Beta Prostate is the #1 urologist-recommended prostate supplement. And now, you can find it in every Walmart nationwide. Don't ignore your prostate health. Get Super Beta Prostate.
This is a story about the one. The untrained eye may not see the one as extraordinary, but her goals aren't easy. She fixes, she manages, she perfects. She is extraordinary. Because for the one, maintaining this space transports her to this space. The industrial-grade product you need, plus 1 million more. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you certain he'll fit?
Sure.
Are you for imprint certain?
Certainty matters. Need promo gear? 4imprint certainly got it. Apparel, drinkware, bags, and more. Go get it at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Pause for the facts. Susie here is shopping for a used car, but she doesn't know that nearly half of them have been in an accident.
Interesting.
But Carfax.com shows how accidents impact price, so she doesn't have to overpay. Unpause.
Whoa.
Shop the all-new Carfax.com.
Waterpik Sonic Fusion lets you brush and floss with the touch of a button, and it's clinically proven to be twice as effective as regular brushing and flossing. Regular brushing only cleans the surface. Sonic Fusion easily cleans away all debris. Visit waterpik.com today.
This morning, Donald Trump forging ahead, the former president waking up in Milwaukee for the start of the Republican National Convention less than 48 hours after surviving an assassination attempt. Now, President Biden calling for unity in a divided America.
A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We cannot, we must not go down this road in America. The power to change America should always rest in the hands of the people, not in the hands of would-be assassins.
Now the FBI investigating the campaign rally shooting as a possible case of domestic terrorism as we learn more about the father who was killed trying to shield his family from the gunfire. Plus new questions about what may have motivated the 20-year-old gunman. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on this Monday. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers, and we have a team standing by with the very latest from Washington to Wisconsin and beyond.
We are going to start, though, with Donna Hutz, who was at the